Okay, better sharpen a pencil then, huh? All right, that's what I'll do first. Hopefully some people start to join. For now, I'll tilt it down. I'll sharpen a pencil while people get notified. Come join the fun tonight. Oh, should probably turn on the light. There we go. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Nice sharp one, nice sharp one. Just like you, where are the sharp bits? So I do this. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Where's my little box of blades by name? There they are, there they are, there are my blades. Ay-ya-ya! Wait, there's no blades in there. I'm thrifty, I'm taking this charcoal out of the garbage. How odd. Put the stumps and tortillon into this bag. Doing a little Virgo preparatory organizing. Charcoal. I think we'll just open up this new blade. It might be nice to have a readable eraser box, but so 5 or so minutes left. I'm not going to use the countdown today. 6 minutes. We'll use this bad boy. This is the meditative part. So tonight, rather than it be a rendered out long pose, I'm going to split the session in half and do 2 drawings. And maybe the second drawing, which you guys will see, will turn to a painting the following week or something. I'm sure this is very engaging, very meditative. When you do this so much, it like I haven't done this in a very long time, so I'm enjoying it. It's novel. When you do it so much, it kind of turns into a job, and you're like, oh, gotta sharpen another pencil. But today, it's enjoyable. I always suggest to my students to have 5 ready. Because if you drop it, it'll shatter. And as you use it, it gets dull. This is a Wolf's Carbon. I like to use a Wolf's Carbon with Pierre Noir Conte. It gives a little bit different mark. And as you can see, it's a lot smaller diameter mark maker. See where we are. It's a good thing I got these holders. We're going to run out the pencil stock today. I have a box of new ones here, but hopefully we don't have to get to them. In fact, the first drawing maybe I'll do in graphite. That Hercules. I'll tilt the camera up when we get started. For now, we sharpen. That's 3. Ooh, this is graphite. Layout pencil ready to go. Charcoal ready to go. Another layout pencil. You can turn on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Crave or whatever, Disney Plus, Hulu, so many services now. There's almost as many as there were cable TV channels back in the day when we had to do it that way. Ads free though. I stayed in a hotel in Waterton and it was so odd to see what TV was like again. Spoiled without it. Ah, 220 grit in a bag. Makes for a nice smooth sharpen. You gotta do a lot more work sharpening, but I've used lower grits sometimes, and it depends what brand. I mark the bags with them too, so I know what I'm getting into. I used to keep my charcoal separate from my Conte, but I don't care what's in the bag now. And then wipe it clean. Look how much material comes off there that would get onto your drawing by mistake. Hey! A watermelon cologne. Hey, Jeff! Oh, it's 6 already. Okay, well, maybe I won't have time to sharpen everything, but I'll do it in the next break. That's fine because I got what I need. Layout pencils. I'm not using the crazy countdown timer today for the start. We'll leave this job for later. Ah! See? Right on time. Right on time. I'm just going to tilt up and we'll talk about the images. And then we will get drawing. Oh, I didn't finish that one. Okay. Jippity-doo-dah. Yeah. And there's my view. I get the luxury of a smart TV in the studio. Living large. It actually belongs to C-Space, but because there's no other tenants or renters in here, I'm allowed to use it. Okay, so, wait. I have 2 images. Hey, wait, hello. Thanks for joining me and having a bunny in your room. It's good timing because tomorrow's April Fool's Day, and Easter's coming up. So it's kind of like my namesake's holiday. I found 2 images, in one today that came up on my Instagram feed, another one a few weeks ago. And I put in the write-up the address. They're on Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram account, you can't get these. But you should be able to click through and view and share them. This figure model shares wonderful images. Alas Pan or something is his handle, but whatever, it's in the description. And then a sculpture of Hercules ripping open a lion's mouth. I'm just gonna blow that one up. I think that's what we'll start with on the warm-up, because it's a lot, well, it's very dynamic, but it's grounded. And also, it's just already black and white, right? So there you go. You see me put it up on the screen here. That's how I'll be viewing. I can see your comments right here. If you do decide to chat, I'm getting better at looking at it. Anyhow, it's already kind of black and white. So what my proposal is that I do this on newsprint, although I don't really intend on transferring it over. Maybe we'll go on the tan tone paper. I have them all present. Tan tone paper and white charcoal for the highlight size. It's not just a figure. We also have a lion, but we're just drawing shapes, lines, and dark and light. And that'll be for the first 3 sittings with the Pontemoro timing. Actually, we'll use the Michael Jordan timing. And then we'll switch over to the other image halfway through. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. Put something in the comments if you want me to talk about something. I am excited because tomorrow I'm starting a new project. Hey! Keith's also in the house. All right, guys. The birds are on. I'm tilting down. We'll get drawing. If you're following along, you can print this out on a home printer. We'll see how this works. I might have to adjust the camera here halfway through, I don't know. Because I realize I made the image so big I can't see what you see. Looks crooked with that. Oh. Ah. Good, you can't see my head bowing down this time. It's a very janky setup, folks. 23 minutes on the clock. Michael Jordan timing. That means 23, there we go. 23 minutes of drawing and talking, 7 minutes of break, and After Effects with music for you guys. All right, Pantone paper. And as is the practice, this paper's been here every week for over a year. Give it a little toss. It's still holding up. Tantone paper. If you need some Tantone paper, I do have it for sale here at the studio, and I can take private appointments still. I've even still got my mask here. Just keep, I'm a chin wearer. It's like a chin diaper now. I just constantly keep it on in case someone comes into my room or something. Imagine, if you will, actually maybe I'll tilt up really quick. Imagine, if you will, a vertical. Just give me a second. Why are you sneaking? Aha! Up to them. Okay, we'll go back up for a second. Let's go back up. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Okay, this is an action session. Okay, so we got our image, and it should be in front of you or away from you because you're looking over your easel on one side. But just imagine a plumb line, and I have already found the one that I want because I've done this long enough that when I look, I see quickly. So here where the neck turns, not the achromium process, so not a landmark, but where the neck meets up in front of the trap, down to the belly button, look at that, down to the wrist, down to this almost line where the line is, and look, almost the vertical of the fabric. So that's going to be my vertical plumb. And I mean, I could tape this here. Maybe I will. It's an off-the-cuff clock. And then horizontally, just looking, what's halfway is about where the hands are. Maybe I would drop it to where legs are, to the hand. I often on the vertical, I want 3 points of reference so that if it were a live model and they're moving, I can work within the shapes. But on the horizontal, because we tend to be a lot taller than we are wide, and flip this if you're talking about a reclining figure, 2 is enough. So somewhere along here will be my point, or halfway. So if I go halfway, it goes across this knuckle, and maybe where the hip and the arm cross, you know, visually. That's not a landmark, but because this is a still photo, we can use these shapes. And then if you halfway it, then at least you know above and below are the same. Same for when a person's standing, we tend to say head to groin or buttocks, and then down to feet, having it halfway off the vertical. So that's the idea I have here. And you may want to use the same line. Now, that is not an equal distance, as you can see. So when I put this line on my paper, I need to be a little bit justified to the right. And the same, you do the same thing with still life. Anyways, I have this plum and I was very excited to use it. I've had this thing for years, so I should be more prepared next time. Let's go back to our 19 minutes of drawing time left. I count all this time because we got to make it to 9. And down we go. Back to our position. Okay. You know what? It looks a lot straighter now too. So we've made improvements. That is always nice. I've got the bird sounds on because the algorithm doesn't block that out. And it feels like spring in here. I ordered Koshi chimes for the studio, which are chimes that are tuned to musical, they're more an instrument, kind of to a musical vibration. Oh, that's not a Leo pencil. That's a Leo pencil. Okay. And there's like earth, water, fire, air. And I have 4 windows in the studio, so my plan is to hang each one in front of each window and actually play the opening and closing of the windows to the energy of the room. I don't know if that's high level stuff. So I like to give a termination point, like I'm not going to draw past there, and one at the bottom. And in this case, there's a base. So we'll put the base down. And just by doing this, I will limit the drawing to be within this area. Drives me crazy when people get bigger and bigger or smaller and smaller and they don't plan their composition. You as the artist have to think about the whole vision. And don't just start drawing the head full and then be like, oh, his shoulder's off the page. Right? That's not the way we got to work as professionals. Or novices who want to look like professionals. All right. Just moving some screens. You guys aren't commenting anyway, so I'm going to cover you with this image. I'm trying to get it more centered from where I'm seated. I like to look straight at the image. And I'll try to make myself straight to you guys. Okay. So, it's taking a long time to get started today. 11 minutes. I'm craving a drink. Not that kind of drink. So I might, because it's a classical sculpture, use a more classical methodology here. I'm just gonna draw it like a contour around the body as like boxes, just to get myself a position. You know, I'm building this puzzle anyhow. So making an envelope. Of sorts. I'm excited for April Fool's tomorrow, not because it's the most mean and horrible holiday. I think FDR designed it to try to get workers happy again so they'd be more productive. Something like that. You can look it up on Wikipedia. I'm not a prank historian, but I think it's a jerk day. So I lay low. For some reason, it's so easy. I always seem to trick my roommate. He forgets it's April Fool's, and I'll just say something dumb. He'll fall for it all day. And then I'll be like, dude, well, till noon. It's April Fool's. Like, what are you doing? But it's not a nice thing to play pranks on people. So I'm not really into it. I'm gonna hide. But because I'm working on the tarot card series, I'm going to hide in the studio and draw the Fool. The literal Fool on April Fool's. I have all my research material and it's time to just jump in. It's a teardrop shape here. So you can see like this teardrop shape. And then I did a shape for the calf as it goes back, and maybe this would be the patella. So I'll start, that's the general shape. I'm gonna start building some of the structure into it now. Okay, so let's find a cranial mass. Why not? I draw different every time. Work on different things. We'll see if we can make this work. I'm not going to take measurements. I don't think. So we'll find out how accurate I am at the break when we rip it to shreds. Just giving a home to this ear. This is a sculpture, and it looks pretty worn down. So we might have to invent, using our knowledge of the figure a little bit to find out where things are. So already I think my shoulder's too wide. If I take a measure of the cranial mass, or the width of the head, that is equal of the width of the ear, tip from the ear. Okay, so I was right. We'll just bring that arm down. I'm working in graphite. I don't know why. You are welcome, guys. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Starting to think I might have made him a little too long. Let's see, the belly button would be about here. Actually, that's working out. Okay. I did take a little measurement there. Felt like he was looking a little long. But often, like, just carving it down like this, I don't know why it works. It just does. So a lot of times when I'm making art, I just have faith. There's a lot of faith in this process. Oh, like faith that this pencil broke. Oh well. Arm cylinder. In the drawing after the break, we'll draw more structurally. Here, classical art, we'll kind of use a classical method. Yeah, talking about the birds and the bees here. Really feels like spring. I came home a couple days ago from Waterton, and the weather had taken a change for the worse. It's a very windy place, Waterton, down by Pincher Creek, where they have all the wind farms. And as I was leaving the park, and I had to come back because I had to come back to teach. So I broke this pencil and I'm going to just stick it in my pencil holder. I bought a new one. I wonder where that one is. Where's the new one? Oh my gosh. Oh, $35. Swinton's Art Supply. These suckers are handmade. They're fantastic. They just feel so good in the hand. This one's a little more well loved. And it's because I pulled this out to look at how it was made, I wrecked it. But this one is brand new, and I know what the innards look like now, so we'll leave it at that. Anyways, back to the Waterton story. Get out of the park, do a little sightseeing, and there's an RV and a truck, like a fifth wheel, turned over on the side of the road. Like it flipped off the road, blew over. Terrifying for those poor people. I don't know if they got out. I hope they had. It actually looked like it had been sitting there overnight. There was no snow trail or anything. But I wanted to stop, and by the time I looked up, there was a giant tow truck coming to save the day. So Waterton's windy. Sometimes. Okay. Belly button, forearm. This is Hercules, so we can actually like bulk him out a little bit. The other thing is when it's a male, I tend to like to use more straight lines and angles in the design, just to emphasize that. The muscular boxiness of a man. This elbow can be a little higher up. All right. It being a long weekend for regular folk, which is nice. It'll be quiet down here at the studio. Give me some time to myself. I'm actually still working Friday and Monday, so Bunny's gonna be here. 6 minutes left. I would love to be further along here, but the malfunctions the challenges and setbacks of not being totally prepared. Then you get to see, you know, artistic problem solving. So I think this arm is too far over. If I move this line maybe. Ha! The whole thing about having the line offset is not true now. Alright. Okay. Let's find some other shapes now. In the crook of the arm is where I see the armpit fold out, which is under the chin. Chin's a little more forward. We'll draw a face mask there. The eyes, and then your thirds halfway will be where the nose is. This arm travels down in this direction, just drawing through. The deltoid is going to be up here anyhow. Elbow is somewhere down there. Wow. Looks long. So the hands are somewhere in here. I suppose at the rate I'm going, this would be a whole session drawing. I don't know what that shape is right there. Something important, I'm sure. Hey, Herc! I don't know how many of you guys grew up with that cartoon, that Hercules cartoon. From like the 1950s. Yeah, my Hercules is buff. Way more buff than he needs to be. Okay. So the armpit turns in, under the chin. Let's bring the arm over a little bit. That's the bicep. Femoris. No, just the bicep. We want to be sure to have enough body here. And the lion's nose. I don't have a lot of experience drawing lions. Especially from this angle. You really have to learn through your subject. I do have experience with Canadian wilderness now because of the Waterton project. I'm actually painting a wolf right now. A sculpture of a wolf. So just think about the shapes. Got a minute or so left. Just working our way down. Kind of abstracting the hand. You can actually see Hercules' leg through this gap between the wrist, and it reads as dark, and the lion's face, and that informs the quadricep muscle, which is right here. The patella, I'm just guessing on size here too, because I kind of have that envelope outside. If I drop a plumb from the elbow, it goes to where the foot turns, so I'm okay here. Alright, it's just a study. I'm not trying to be perfect, which is odd for Virgo to say because we are supposedly, I'm learning about all this astrology stuff right now. That's why it's coming up. I swear, I normally don't talk about it. But I guess part of the nature of our sign here. But it has a lot to do with the tarot. Every card has a related astrological symbol or energy. Okay, so hey, we're gonna take a little break. Bunny's gonna see a man about a horse, not a lion, and I want to turn on the special 7-minute videos I made just because of all the effort I put forth. So let's enjoy some of this. Aha, A, and then we go. Coca-Cola, zero sugar. It's not good for me. It's worse than regular Coca-Cola, probably. But on the keto diet, I can have it. 23 minutes, Michael Jordan. 24. I need a little kick. Feeling a little tired. This time of day is always rough for me. But I found that if I just push through, do the drawing at the end, I feel vibrant, revived. Okay, so I actually moved the shoulder over a little bit. He was looking a little too bulky, but I also made the head a little bit bigger, so maybe we'll just throw that back. Just something I did before I hit cut switch on the OBS. Top half good. Let's look for simple shapes on the bottom. Got this like ball shape. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like he's choking the line out of his own skin. Dark shape. There's not going to be a lot of values. Dark background. Core cast shadow. We'll leave this as the majority of value, and then we'll add white on the highlights. Maybe it'll look like an Andy Warhol or something by the time we're done with it. Back of the leg. That's normally be looking like an Andy Warhol is a bad thing. If I run a plumb from the heel, it goes to his eye. So my heel's gotta move over a little bit. These are just the ways I see. Talk it out. Quite a jaunt up here too. Move this toe over. Yeah, it's just a puzzle. I feel like his leg doesn't look long enough. I am going to take a measurement. I'm taking a measurement. So this distance. Oh, I got it right. Okay. It must just be the angle I'm looking at it at. I don't know. Under the leg. It's like a diamond shape. So I'm not looking at what it is. I'm just actually drawing this dark kind of shadow shape. It's kind of like an 8. The way I see to draw abstractly is the same way children learn, and our memories use visuals. Like that looks like an 8. So look at things abstractly. Think about it this way, like if I say to you, or anyone who took grade 5 geography, what does the shape of Italy look like? You know what I'm talking about. And so this land on the page, I treat it similar. It's almost the same thing. It's a geography of the page, I guess. This distinctive angle from the foot all the way up to where the line's body, the curvature, kind of meets my plumb line, really, because this is where the fabric appears to drop. Just gonna draw the tibia here. Help me get oriented a little bit. Okay, that was fun. Fabric keeps going up. Below the hand is where this lion's arm juts up into this area up here. Similar or close to where the elbow is. So getting the puzzle. This is where it gets complicated, because I don't know much about this lion's anatomy, but I have pet a cat. I don't have a pet cat, but I've pet a cat. Straight across, that's where this little point is. The lion's paw is nearly as wide as the length of the face. It's huge. So I was just doing a little check to make sure that I'm making it big enough. Because it needs to have that sense of power and fear, because it's mighty. In fact, in the tarot, the strength card has a lion on it. Well, what's interesting about it, most of them have, I think, a lady opening a lion's mouth. There's its arm of sorts. It's like all a dark shape in there. And then, if I, in my mind's eye, draw down the arm, that's the leg is just on the outside of it. And I feel like I already had that in there pretty good from the start. So we'll stick with that. Maybe I'll move this lion's tail down. This is the only horizontal line in the whole drawing. Everything else is curved or at an angle. Often there isn't a horizontal at all. But this is quite a stiff, compressed sculpture. And it makes sense because of the material. One solid rock. All right, let's see what's some of this. So then the lion's elbow is in direct alignment with this arm and the fingertips. So right about there. Kind of comes up. And then there's a shadow, a cast shadow on the leg, which will intensify. So down to this knee. It's two little, it's not one straight line. The patella is on top, and then you see the condyle, and then it just disappears into darkness. And that darkness line kind of transfers over to the foot. And so that's one of those lines that you see in Riley rhythms. This is a lost edge, so based off where this hand is, I'm just going to drop it straight down. Ankle. Where's this foot? Somewhere in here. Bottom of the tail. And I'm gonna race to get that other one going in here next. So have I bit off more than I can chew once again? Wouldn't surprise me. You know what though? This one I might want to render out, and then the other one, we'll see. The other one might become a painting. The photograph is nice and blues, and I thought it would be a really interesting challenge because the Zorn palette lacks blue, to do the Zorn again and to do it on the cool side. I actually don't have a lot of experience doing Zorn on the cool side, because when I studied at Paris Academy of Art, except on the last day where we had a super pale model, all the models were olive skin, Spanish or Brazilian, very rich dark colors, and on the very, very warm side. And so didn't actually have to deal with the difficulty of coolness for an overall tone. These ankles kind of line up. Just bring it up a little higher. Then the lion's butt. The lion's butt tonight. That's why I'm in art and not music. In the drawing, Bonnie's drawing, the lion's butt is big. Oh boy. My friend stayed with me in the hotel in Waterton. Now, only my roommate and my girlfriends know that I am very silly and I sing in the shower. Sometimes the songs are made up and are horrible, probably. But that was probably a rude awakening to Melissa when I started singing in the shower, and anyone else in the hotel for that matter. But I have fun, so I don't know. It's okay. All right. So that, where that meets up, change things a little bit. It's higher than the ankle on a horizontal. So I kind of like use this like moving quadrant system, maybe like a draftsman might draw with. Just for some insight, if you're looking for it. It's funny to like talk about drawing when you're not doing it. You know, as an instructor, sometimes it's best, like we do long demos here. Not the whole class length, as long as this live stream, but sometimes, like, you know, you don't contextualize what you're doing because you were not sitting and doing it or having to talk about it aloud. Wow. I don't know if I'll get this fabric at the bottom done. We'll see. I've got almost all my shapes in here. There's like shadow shapes, some lion's mane, I think. Not the mushroom, the actual mane. Okay, so let's say that that's my structure. You know, I'm feeling brave. That's graphite, which is very forgiving and erasable. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw in, with the Conte, the darkest bits, the darkest shadows. Actually, it might be Wolf's Carbon. I gotta see what I have sharpened. Thanks for reminding myself. Wait, is it down here? There they are. I sharpened before this live stream started. Oh, maybe it is this one. This tiny little guy. Oh my god, now I can actually see what the back of my haircut looks like. This is a beer bug haircut done by myself. I was looking pretty rough after Waterton. I hadn't shaved in a few weeks. Okay, so maybe I will just like drive myself downward. So behind the neck, there's this shape of shadow. So this is less structural. The next drawing will be more structural. It's coming down. It's in alignment with the chin. Kind of goes up at an angle. So it's a little bit boxy. It goes towards the shoulder bone. And I'm simplifying, right? Who knows? This might look really nice on the old IG account, since it will be shrunken down. The outside of this whole figure is dark, so I might do well to draw maybe a thick line around the outside to give the impression that I did a lot more work. I'm not going to darken around this whole area. We don't have time. There's an eye shape. So I put a line across to represent the eye, but it's kind of just like an H in there. Goes down the side of the nose. There's like a nostril plane. Kind of looks like a pug or something. And there's the eye on this side, which looks how you would think it would look. Like a little comma or something. There's a hair shadow. And then it goes across the hairline. And there's like a bunch of darks in there representing the hair, the ear. Shadow in the hair. Okay. The jaw. It's quite square. There's a little shadow that comes out. It's going across. the shoulder girdle there. So I'll do the cheek as well. And I actually maybe let this taper out, and I'll actually use the white chalk to define all of these shapes rather than outlining and trapping it. We'll see how that works. However, this side of the figure, I'll box it in to represent that black background that I've got. Tricep bumps out at the top, and then it straightens out at the bottom. There's a tendon at the back of the arm. Elbow. And a little bit underneath the forearm for my dark. There is a shadow under the forearm, but first we're just looking for the darkest shapes. And one of those darkest shapes, actually there's a little bit in the V here of the neck from the sternocleidomastoid. And under shadow from the pec, because Hercules is bulbous. There is a line kind of goes across the body, and from the armpit down there's a shadow, cast shadow. Kind of like that. So you see, I'm not talking about the anatomy in this one. The next one will change gears, and we'll talk about drawing and planning the shapes and forms. But this one, this is like abstraction. It's almost like shape warm-up exercises. What shapes do you see, and can you replicate the angles, size correctly? Under the armpit, I see a fold. Then the two folds of that oblique comes down, and then it looks like it becomes the leg. So this side's going to have white and doesn't need an outline, but this side's also going to have the light. However, there's a shadow there, so I'm going to draw the whole box, drop the bicep, and then color it in. Wait, are we on the third session already? What? Okay. Maybe it's wise to do a two-parter. In my mind, I was faster. That's the other thing. Like, just having no scope sometimes of how long these things are going to take. It's hard to think what you'll charge for art if you charge by hour. What do we do? What do you do? 17 seconds. So, I'll keep going in this vein, but we are going to take a break. So I should probably cue that thing up. Cue it up, bunny. Break already? Time is flying. Let's do a 7-minute one of these. Enjoy. Oh, yeah. And we're back. Okay. I'm still sharpening some pencils here. Now, we're only going to draw this one for one more 20 some odd minute session. And maybe I can bring it a little more straight up to you. The structure's nice. It looks like something that would be an Italian grandpa's yard. And that's exactly what I'm after today. Boxy. I've got all the shapes planned in there. And I probably won't put the white in today. We'll see. I might just do the black shapes and the white. And I mean, if there's a lesson in that and it's strong enough, we could leave it at that. Maybe we'll come back, paint it with gouache, maybe even put in the background. Because it's art, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. I'm going to the Pontomoro timing because I need the extra 2 minutes. This will be it with this one, and then we'll switch gears and do something else. Trying something new, trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep it interesting for you guys. Still figuring out. I'm thankful for your comments, your views, your shares, your subscribes. It's nice that people even listen to my voice. People care to tune in. Even if it's just because they know me, I appreciate it. It's motivating. Okay, so there's a lot of darks down here by the hands. There's the kind of shadow of the finger. Anything that's undercut, really. Say that that's the knuckle. You hear these birds? The birds are not copyright infringing, so that's what we play. I love the sound, and today Doug was in here and he told me that there was a study done in Berlin or something, and this is paraphrasing. The study found that people's overall feeling of health and happiness was higher if they just heard bird sounds in the daytime than, I think he said it was like getting a 10% wage increase. Which is amazing that bird sounds, birds just, they're flying dinosaurs, can bring you that sort of happiness. Okay. I wake up with bird sounds every day, and right now it's the woodpecker who lives outside my room. I love that sound. I'm sure the homeowner next door hates it. I think it's their tree, unfortunately, for them. I have not been keeping up on my ornithology studies. Working in Waterton, those were 12 to 15 hour days. We ate, but we didn't take any other breaks. Because if you're going to drive 3.5 hours to work, you got to work the whole time. Plus, we've got a lot to do. A lot to do. Okay. Well, talk about work and I lose viewers. Oh well. So, it's like a square shape here. And then the fur curls up. Just follow the patterns. And somewhere it turns into like an elbow. So I'm going to just put it straight down this arm. If you're drawing along and you're kind of following with your eyes, you'll know what I mean. Now, I'm simplifying them, so think about squinting down if you have to. Because I build the halftones and stuff off of these shapes. These don't have to be perfect. They're just kind of pointers so that I know where I am in the drawing. But for the purpose of this video, I want you to be able to tell what it is. So just, it's all abstract here. These darks will have to be darker. I think maybe next week I might even whip out the pan pastels because they've got good coverage. There is a shadow on the leg, the cast shadow here. So this whole area was pretty dark. So we'll draw this in. The knee, I might be over accentuating it because I am a great lover of Michelangelo's version of knees. I'm just going to bring this whole shadow up and around, traveling that curvature in the front of the leg, down the foot, to the lion's big butt. I'm going to make all of this dark. So you can see by the way that I'm working this too, that I can still change things and improve them if needed. I'm not going full dark. There's still lots of tooth that I can build upon. Maybe even might do a funky color. I'm feeling less traditional sometimes. It's good practice to follow the rules. It's also fun to break them. Maybe we'll use fuchsia or something. I don't know yet. I don't know. It's okay not to know. You gotta have faith in the process. Something that I definitely put forth to people, you just gotta show up and do the work. And also, you can really just let this stuff go. Just don't worry about it. It'll work out. And that's hard for a lot of people. You know, I did that artist way and all that jazz in my youth. How to be creative. Really showing up. You guys who are here now, I mean, geez, that's half the battle. If you're not drawing and you're just listening, or if you're drawing your own stuff, that counts too. Kind of like having a podcast on. Show up, do the work. So this is a dark shape. Here more so it's a shadow, so I'm filling it in with the black. But because this is like a window to the background, and I don't know if I'm going to put the background in or what I'm going to do with it, I am not going to touch it right now. Well, this kind of darken the outer edge of the tail. You know what might be interesting is if I do this with crosshatch next week, like in the style of Sabin Howard or something. So combine this image with, while looking at his work, I wanted to do a copy, like a master copy of his drawings. Now he's a sculptor, more so. He's doing that war memorial in the States. Big, big, big commission for him. You know, I might. So I was doing the darkest shadows. There is reflected light up in this chest. I might put it in right now because it's the value of the dark, and I'll darken those darks further, I think. Because otherwise it doesn't quite look right, I don't think. I mean, even those two darks beside each other is better. And don't be fooled by some of the darks you see in this. That's the rock. Not the light. The light is strong coming from this side, causing that cast shadow on that leg. Like I can put a line right here and immediately your eye sees that edge as separate from this background area. Little tricks like that you have to play with to make visual interest for your viewer. Because even though, you know, you're making art, some would argue they make it for themselves. I think that those people use art as therapy, and they're kind of like the selfish genius in their bedroom. Like, I've got the greatest ideas. I just make art for myself. Art? And then you've got the other guys who are like, art's for everyone, you know? For me, it's somewhere in the middle. I do make art. I get pleasure out of making art, and more so pleasure out of others enjoying it. But that doesn't mean I make things for them to enjoy solely. Like, I'm not, this isn't commission work. Some of the work, in fact, I would say that most of the work that I get paid for, which I do not post a lot of, is commission work. Because I'm a little bit embarrassed at times by the commissions I take. Little corporate things, you know. We can also put there is a core shadow here down the arm. We'll just get that in. I'm gonna leave the hair for now because it's a big commitment, and we're on a time schedule here to make this worthy enough to hopefully that people will want to come back and watch the rest next week. Pan pastel, I think, is the way to go. So this fabric falls down the front. Here's the lion's leg. So a little bit more structural. So I do it all as a shadow, and then because there's reflected light, I just draw them beside, and that will give me that illusion. So there's kind of an order to things. There's the fold of the leg. Remember, still simplified, so I don't need to get all the bumps and nooks and crannies of this. But this is the dark side of the piece. I'm not drawing the outside of the light side. Once again, I'll use the white to create that edge, the light. Won't have time to do it in this session. And the other reason why I'm not going to do it in this session is if my hand rubs over it, it starts to mix in these weird grays. And I don't want that currently. Under the chin, there's a shadow that goes back to the neck pit. That neck pit, I'm just going to move it over a little bit. The whole chest here. I'm still making decisions, right? I'm not saying that, here's my design, now we just render it. That would be boring for me. This ear is just like a mess. It's got Hercules cauliflower ear. And actually you would suspect that Hercules would have cauliflower ear. We might also treat this more like hair, like draw texture into it. Leave that. The mouth. I also am fixing his nostril because it looks broken in the reference. It looks piggish. The mouth is up high and it's doing this odd shape. So let's try to do that odd shape. Sorry, just a little bit more on the eye. Okay. Looks like an old man going, hey, Sonny. Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Hey, watch me pull a rabbit out of... Maybe he's going to reach into this lion. Pull off the greatest Criss Angel ever. Pull Criss Angel out of the lion. Okay, good. Good enough. This is, on this side of the line, in front of the wrist, is actually a cast shadow. So, we're going to put this in here. It's not seeing through to the background. It's important that you, this is seeing through to the background, but it's important that you show the viewer the differences. And actually, it's at more of an angle down, okay? And 9 minutes. Let's get this back of the leg in here. There is a triangle here between the back lion leg, which is lower than this, and this curve. And I'm not going to color that in yet. That's seeing through. What I do want to do is the shadow on its chest. And I think I'll combine the occlusion with the rest of the shadow. It's a soft edge, so I'm using the side of this pencil. The cast shadow describes the form it's falling on. So we see it's not just showing it's a leg, it's bending around the lion's form. So we've got to show those nooks and crannies because that's what gives it depth. And also, you know, thinking about that, up here is a hard edge, down here is more soft. Because as the cast shadow moves away, the light diffuses. So I got 8 more minutes. There's also light here, so this might start out as white and fade. The sculpture itself, in the actual photo, does have a yellow tinge to it. So I'm glad I chose yellow paper. The other, or sorry, warm tone paper. The other reason why I was thinking along these lines, thinking along these lions was doing 2 pieces for shorter time. This one being more warm and the next one being more cool. So we'll start out next week with some, looks too short, some painting. Sorry, we'll do this drawing first and then we'll jump into painting. That's what we'll do. And then I'm back to Waterton. It is a long weekend this weekend. Otherwise I'd be down there. But no one will be on the site, so. don't know. Yeah, maybe it'll be like a crosshatch mixed with hand pastel, this piece. Trying to keep it interesting and creative. Not feeling the hustle I should have, though, with that stupid time limit I put on myself. I guess I was thinking quick sketch at first. Good. From the belly button. There's that little line. There we go. Shoot, more up, more up, more up, bunny. Okay. There are shadows from this claw. Dr. Claw. Sorry if I'm being too quiet. We're still here. Maybe I'll move up. The shadow of the fabric. Let's get that in. Down here. It's got like a little divot, fabric comes back up. Goes in. It's up. Goes to the tip of the toe. I got a throat tickle. It's not the beer bug, I swear. I wonder if the algorithm's getting smart to that too, that people are saying that beer bug. I'm not monetized anyways. But copyright, no go. Hopefully no one sees ads on this live stream. I don't know how. YouTube probably does do that. It's what I'm using. I've got the premium YouTube, so I don't get ads. But of course you pay to not get advertised to. So this is all a dark shape. I'll use this as an opportunity to sharpen this very dull wolf's carbon. By getting all of this in here, I should be able to just smash some stuff on top in the next one. Hopefully. The pinky finger here. It lines up kind of to this mouth, this angle here. This does remind me of the bark drawings. Just because it's also classical antiquity. But in a way, the way that I'm doing it is the same way you kind of break down when you're first learning the bark drawings. Abstract shapes. Very valuable practice. If you haven't done them, I'll say it again. You should do them. You should do many of them. Only if there's something that you need to learn, of course. Don't just do them for the sake of them unless you like the images. So underneath this ball thing, there's a shadow. Ball shape, I mean, this spherical type shape. 1 minute left. got that. That goes up there. Oh yeah, there's this one. So this is just folding the fabric. Okay. Good. Little triangle down here. Yeah, let's count this. Foot shadow. Which goes up and over and back to the belly. I think that's where we're gonna stop this particular one. For now, for today. Okay, so rather than take a regular break, it's 7:30, we're right on time. I'm just gonna switch out this pad and switch the image on my TV so that I can draw the other guy. I'm gonna draw him on the newsprint, and the reason is we may turn that into a painting like we did last week. So we'll leave the Hercules there. Yeah, let's get rid of him. And I'll stare at it for a week. And we'll get the newsprint out. Here's my newsprint. I'm gonna tilt the camera up quickly and we'll just talk about this piece and how we'll go about it. This one may become a painting, right? So, I mean, there it is on my screen. Let's see if I can zoom in for you guys a little bit. There's the traffic of the web stuff. Okay, so I saved this one till after because he's kind of looks like he's almost floating. He's laying on something. Maybe he's like his spacesuit came off and he's flying off into nowhere forever. So there's no shape grounded. In fact, there's an interesting envelope here. You can kind of see that. I draw it with my finger. But we're going to draw more structurally. So there will be anatomy. There'll be the barrel shape of the chest. We'll show how this is a cylinder coming towards in the drawing. And it will be more of a structured drawing. And we might not get to the shading. We'll just really try to get the forms to give that illusion that his body's held up and he's floating. We might even exaggerate it a little bit. If we have time, we'll put in the light and dark map. If you remember last week, right? Simple drawing like this, right? Like simple shapes. That's the type of thing we can transfer for painting. It just transfers those outlines, and then what's light and dark. So that's the goal in the next 3 sittings. It's not major, but in this case, going more for accuracy. May even, so this front leg is as long as the whole top of the body. We have a lot of foreshortening here. We could increase this a little bit to create that dynamic perspective. Could increase this a little bit more. It should be interesting to do. Now let's just look at the plum, because we have no grounding. We have no foot on the ground. We have no rooting up from the earth. If I just run my plum, often you can just look maybe where the belly button is, the achromium process, the side of the leg here. You could, what you don't want to do is run a line like this down the center of the body. You still want to think the structure of the paper. I will use my horizontal as his butt in this case. It goes across to the hand and across the leg, but also because that's a very weighted, grounded position. So that's what's going on inside my head. Maybe you could go from the side of the neck, down the manubrium and sternum, down the kneecap. That's another one. And that might actually represent, not quite more half, this is closer to half. And you can see here, for the sake of Instagram, social media, and YouTube, the figure model has covered up his junk, thankfully. And he's got lots of awesome pictures of in pan headdresses and stuff. So follow this model if you haven't already. I think he's going to be great to work with. And here we see this real blueness with no blue in the Zorn palette. I'd like to try to get this coolness with the Zorn, which means a lot of ivory black. It might make for a very boring painting, but I sense pinkness here, but not warmth. So I think that might be fun to do a painting like that. It might take a whole session, but we'll get started on the drawing right now. And before we do, I'm tilting. It might be nice to just flip through this book and see what is going on. Okay, a sculpture. September. Ooh. So these were from previous live streams. This is very thin, smooth paper. But I'm doing this in part because I think there's probably a page skipped in here somewhere that we can draw on. Royal we. Some short pose. So when Luke was teaching here. Oh yeah. It's funny how I remember that exact pose and model. Like I didn't, now that I see a face, I'm like, oh yeah. Here's our dancer model. Alright. Oh, cool. I use these to wrap things. I don't keep them. Oh, rim lighting. Nightmarish. That's terrible. Let's just not even let that exist anymore. Warm up. ASMR. The more foreshortened 10 to 15 minute poses. It's nice, you know, I haven't been drawing that much at all. So this is a gentle reminder of all the work that I've put in. So hopefully I don't suck tonight. Yeah, this pad I was using in the Rise and Draw, which was scheduled to start again March 18th, and then I moved it to April 12th or 22nd. But as it stands, there's Ange. Nice graceful line up there. Oh yeah, a little foreshorten there. October. So Rise and Draw, I guess I'll just have to put on hold while the government tells me I can't do anything. So, oh my. Rise and Draw, we start with the first half is short poses. And so that was started by Yulia Monday morning, and I said to her, no one's gonna come Monday morning. Who wants to get up that early Monday morning? And Monday's classes always sell out. So if it fills up and we're still restricted by the numbers we're allowed in here, and we will be, most likely, I might, if there's enough people, also open up a Friday morning and then not teach my figure class until another time. There's some good stuff in here. I'm having the feeling that there is no paper left. Azure. Oh, class stuff. Okay, so look at those notes. This was actually kind of that shape study here of Ryan. All the order and things I do, teaching SB. Okay, well, wait, what? Here we go. Here we go. Where's that? Ah, shucks. The drawing on there. What? Okay. I'm gonna take this sheet out. I am gonna draw on it. You know, it's got a dirty back. But I'm going to draw on top of some paper. This is textured. So if you draw on it, you kind of get this weird, let's actually draw on it. Right? Art again. We have to experiment. So we'll draw on the front cover of the Strathmore newsprint. Why not? It's going to be a weird looking drawing, but this will become a transfer drawing more than likely anyhow. So, I commune with the paper. I am one with the paper. All right, floaty guy. So, maybe I'll start with just one big gesture line. So I want to look for the largest line or angle, and he's like on a banana. So, sorry, just bringing up the picture. Whoop, made it too big. Okay, so I kind of have like I hope this isn't shining you guys in the face. It's very shiny for me. I'm just gonna give myself a crosshair. This is hard, and I need something soft so you can see it. We'll use this really dull pencil. I did not have time because I didn't take a break to sharpen it. But I'm just gonna squint my eyes, and I kind of see this long banana shape. So that's his head, his chest, his hips, and then his leg, okay? And maybe while I'm at it, let's just do like we did in the last one. Let's just look at how the envelope might look. That would be his hand to his leg. The leg would be down here. I'm going to increase the foot a little bit because I want a little bit more of a, like I'm going to increase that foreshortening a little bit. Might be a bit cartoony. We'll see what happens. You know, it would be, depending on what lens the photographer used, you might get that look anyways. So from the toe up, goes to the other foot. The other foot, it's not quite vertical. Not quite vertical. Then the other hand comes out. In general, I'm not doing all the folds. There's like an L shape of the hand. But thumb to shoulder goes to about here. Shoulder, head. The head turns back. So, you know, you could say that that's the envelope. Between the legs, there's a shape. Yeah, I'm going to increase the foot for sure. I'm trying to control where I am on the page as well. I wish I had put his head a little more up, but this is how I see it right now. And because this will get transferred, who cares? We can change it then. Man, this guy's calves are freaking amazing. He must be climbing mountains where he lives. Please do go onto the Instagram. Find this gent. If you don't have Instagram, in this video's descriptor, I did put the address. I'm willing to bet this guy's a pro model, so I'm willing to bet that he's got a website too. That'll be the toe. Now all of this is in the dark. Although I do love drawing muscular men's physiques. I should be more muscular myself, since I could then model for myself. But the amount of ladder repetitions I did doesn't seem right. I think the knee's got to be up higher. I think the knee's got to be up higher. I'm just taking a quick measure here. So this angle, if I go down, becomes the other knee. You know what? Here's one of the problems is I'm drawing like the last one, and I said I was going to do it the other way. Okay, so let's do it proper. Head, circle. Then I draw the curvature of the face. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to my own thing, man. Here's our jawline. Eyes, nose, mouth. It's because I put in this envelope. That's what messed me up. That's a different modality of drawing for me. Okay, ears down here. Let's draw the neck. Right, guys, I hope you're happy. I found my own, I figured out what I was doing wrong. Neck pit, we'll say, is below and down from the nose. Okay, so now, roundness, chest. Okay, the chest, which is, if you look at the cranial mass here, it's 4 cranial masses. So you kind of have to feel it out. But that's what's good about this technique. So you can also see a fold in the pec. The back side of the chest circle is actually higher. There's a tilt to it. So because I have that in there, I can draw a center line for his body. His belly button is going to be around here. And the leg's going to start to fold there. Yeah, we're drawing cylinders. Mannequinization is more the name of the game here. Okay, let's do the chest and turn that, curl it. Have it be curved to show that that form is 3-dimensional. It's not an oval. Okay, and then the pecs go up. So his deltoid, it's kind of, we'll do it as an oval for now. His bicep. Growing up, I was really interested in comic books. And so some of this type of drawing goes back to the old Stan Lee style. Or Loomis has similarities, similar things. Maybe they're, you know, those artists learned from Loomis. And up here is where you actually will see the, because he's leaning back, right? The rib. I just want to make sure things are in alignment. Okay, chest. Now let's do the hips. Now the hips in this position are a little bit difficult. Because they're tilted back. Were it a bucket hip, it would look like this. You would almost see the bottom of the bucket. And if it's a cylindrical hip, there's a few ways you can do it, right? We can see kind of a stomach fold there. Okay. An oblique. Now, we have this awesome deal here where the knee is in alignment with his chin. And I'm just going to move it up because I'm going to make this leg a little bit bigger. So we'll put the patella right there. Not out there. Yeah, let's move it out. Okay. You know, I think last one I just kept saying it's good enough. If it's good enough, well, guess what? Same rules apply. We have a cylindrical form here, shooting back. I'm just going to take a measurement here. Good. Belly button's in the right place. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Move his butt down a little bit. Okay, so the patella is going to be down here. I'll draw it cylindrical. No wonder this guy's a model. He's got these calves. Our local Calgary model, Lee, he's got amazing calves too. He's like a mountain climber. So this guy, whatever he's doing other than having great genes, maybe he climbs mountains too. Kind of treat the whole foot like a paddle. It almost looks like he's floating in water or something as well. Sorry, I hope I didn't go off the page there. Might have to make this leg a little longer. I'm not sure yet. Drew it like tabby boots, ninja boots. Think that the leg has to be this long, if not longer. Yeah, let's do longer. Let's do longer. We want it big because it's close. And just the separation between the big toe and the little toe. This travels up to there. Okay. So this leg is going back. And it's connecting into the hip here. Separation of the quad. It's right over the patella. The other part of the leg. There's a little bit of light right here. It's being caught underneath it. Now the hip and the butt just is on the outside. Remember, I have it, I want to sit it on this line, okay? I may have to truncate the body a little bit, we'll see. think I put the chest a little too high too. We'll see if we can deal with what we have here. This leg now. Can't see any of that area anyway, so it'll get painted out. I'll move the belly button over. It is in alignment with this leg here. And it needs to be a little closer to the chest. Overall, looking good. Okay, this leg goes up. We're moving it over a little bit. The difference between the two legs is equal to the difference from the neck pit to the top of the head. So I gotta move it over a little bit. So we still, wow, you know what? We have an hour to do this? Got caught up in that classical way, just put the brakes on. Note to self. All right, so his forearm comes down. Hand is a little further out, actually. Go up to that kneecap. The hand there. All right, let's start bulking this guy out a little bit. I might have time to go back to the other drawing. What? Or doing the cleanup in this round. His nipple is there. Actually, his nipple would be right there. I really want to show this roundness. Kind of a gestural line like this. Okay. Tone that shoulder down a little bit. Going a little punky there, bunny. Little Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay. All right. So, wait, other hand. I'm going to do a little bit of my magic on this. Good. Just making sure the wrist to the crook of the elbow is equal to the up to the acromion process. He's got thumb coming out here. All right, there's our floaty guy. At first, he's gonna be trimmed down. But what I want to do is I want to take a break quickly so that I time this out right. So we'll take 5, and then, well, I'll roll. This is what I'm gonna do during the break. I'm gonna roll over it, lighten all my lines, and tweak it. So let's take a couple minutes, and then we'll get right back at it. Just turn on my, there, sorry. You see, there he is, mostly. We'll probably put some shadow shapes on here too, because we got the time. Let's turn on the countdown. So we did that one. Let's try, no, this 7-minute triangles. Forget it. Hey, ho. Okay, guys, I just pulled up the Instagram. It's this model is A-L-E-S. Alast. Penrith. Okay, go follow Alast Penrith. So, and you can see, if you go on my Instagram, my video has his Instagram page linked. So, I erased it out and drank all my cola. And so now, in 23 minutes, I'm just going to simplify the design and follow the light and shadow areas so that we have a map to transfer to create a painting. So let's start with the head shape. Gonna put the eyebrows in. They're dark. I find when I draw this way, often I inadvertently make the characters look like me. So, my apologies if his face doesn't look quite right. We'll see. Here's the nose. He's got this amazing mustache. If you go from the glabella through the nostril, this side of it, you get to the side of the mouth. And because we're underneath it, there is on this side a little bit of light. Okay. I might not have given him enough mustache area. That's all going to be dark. The Flavor Saver or Soul Patch. Shadow of the chin. Use my tip broke, and I'm on the stupid texture, but this should not be a hard edge. The other eye. The eye. He's got his eyes closed here. I might not have put that eyebrow. Maybe made it too big. And then just think this diagonaling back. So rather than drawing this flat in alignment with the head, I bridge it this way. So there's lots of shapes on that side that we can't quite see because they're in the dark side, but I should put them in there because I know that bit of anatomy is important. So the bottom of the chin, I'll just darken it just to give the impression. It's nice, actually this texture is kind of nice. This makes a nice sound too. He's got wonderful swoops of hair, which no need to describe because the paint is going to do a wonderful job of that. Okay. Let's get his jawline. I'm going to move his ear a little bit. I think I had it a little too far down, a little too far over. It might just be that it's all too big. We'll see at the end. We'll do a side-by-side comparison. We'll see how I did. It's good to always be analyzing your work if you can, so that you can perfect your practice and see where is it that you keep making mistakes, you know? because it's probably repetitive. In mine, I think I pushed his head too high up. So I'm just gonna drop it down a little bit more. Now follow the bedbug line. Down, Adam's apple, down. There we go. That's all shadow. Yeah, I think his neck is a little too big. So I'm going to move the ear over to be more in a vertical alignment. That eyebrow. So I also want to give a shout out, not just to this model, but I had taken this picture and I forgot what his name was on Instagram. And Brian Knox, the teacher from Watts Atelier, let me know who it was. So thank you, Brian. And these kind of shapes are how he draws, so you should check out his Instagram as well, because he is an amazing artist. I took a class with him online through Watts Atelier. Well, I audited it. It was pretty amazing what those guys have, what they're doing down there. And they have everything online. There's whole school, so I wish I had more time to be a student, but at least I have time to practice here. So let's just get the overall shape of the arm first. Actually, I'm going to make his arm a little bit wider, a little bit more Herculean. Okay. And we can see the pec muscle into the armpit here, and cast shadow down following the side of the body there, the lat. Using overlap to show what's in front. Whoa, I went a little big there. We'll just put the oblique there. And there's a curvature. The iliac crest. I'm just going to show from around where the nipples are down. There's kind of the front band, which can be represented, or represents the abs. Chest, nipple, male. And let's just make sure we locate some of the bones that we're going to need to show. In our painting, the achromium process. Deltoid. All right, turning of the body. Now we have a cast shadow, so I'm using this side tip. It's gotta just not be a hard edge. Cast shadow, sure, hard edge. Comes down across the breast. This is what gives you your form, right? Down the side of the body. Show the ab where it meets up. And then around and under the belly button. So I might move the belly button back over, just based off how my drawing is shifted here. Out to the belly, go back around. And this is where the hip goes forward, and the leg, as you can see now, folds down. All of here, we'll just draw dark. It's going to disappear in our piece. And we can soft, right? Smooth that out. Soft the shadow where the hamstring is hanging down. Before we get to the calf. It's a little too high. The flatness of the top of the leg. Okay. Are we having fun yet? Ask yourself this. Down the shin. I love this calf. This calf is nicely lit. Good. Just checking some of my measurements. We'll see how we fare side by side by the screen. And then if I have to, I'll make adjustments before we get to the painting of it, which isn't this time. Okay, so lots going on with the knee. First, there's a little shadow up here. Coming down the patella. Down the tibia. And let's get that shadow that goes in between there. The ankle. We could even draw it a little bit. So it's like a gradation, but the top of the ankle catches the most light. Top of the foot, which goes down further than the heel. And then to the bone, the side of the big toe. I might have to make the big toe a little bit bigger. It could be a question of thinner. As I've talked about before, I have a habit of making the lower half of the body wider than it needs to be. Everyone's got cankles. I got the Robert Crumb disease. Not the part about the French villa, unfortunately. A little bit of light back there. And the toes. All of this is dark. Right into the background. But she's mapped out now. Shade it up. Underneath the deltoid, there is a shadow that goes down into the knee. Now, there is a bit of curvature here, so let's emphasize it along the forearm, and it flattens out for the bicep. But don't draw just a straight line, because that's boring. Straight lines are boring. So that's where that lives. Much darker shape in here when we get to the actual painting, but for now I can just draw the line. There's a little bit of reflected light up in there. On the other side, we got a bicep shadow and a shadow along the deltoid. It goes into the pit. Pit is like, this sounds bad. Something gross about it. Wouldn't you agree? Now, there's a squaring off. Let me just take a quick measure. Make sure I'm good. My hand could be a little bit later to the party. So from the wrist to the armpit is equal to the acromion process to the pit. So yeah, I gotta make my arm longer. So the triangulation needs to be pushed out. Things shifted a little bit on me. Glad I checked it now though. So same sort of thumb shape. Squint your eyes. If you're not sure what you're seeing, simplify. I'll just do it as an overall, like a mitten. I'm not going to bother separating the hands. Maybe just the pinky. It does have a shadow shape there. Okay. Let's go with that for now. For now. You could imagine that it's more flat at the wrist. There's a little bulge here, little squares off at the process of the ulna, whereas it's more rounder like this and more flat like this. Same as the chest, roundness, don't lose that. Obviously these are very round. Kind of, if you're below on the forearm, it divots in, which we can see, bing, is lower. It's right there. It's lower than the belly button in this case. So let's bring that shadow down. Comes up, down the bicep. And comes across the forearm. And there's veins going down. And tendons. Kind of like this texture. Maybe in the future when I do a background, you know, happy accidents, I'll put the paper on the cover. Okay. Where else do we need to go? This leg. There's a slight core shadow here. It's not cast. It's actually the darkest light. But we want to emphasize it. And it comes up to where the abdominals are. This guy's got great definition of his serratus. Up here. We'll just emphasize it for the sake of this drawing. and the end of the clavicle down into the deltoid. There's that little ridge in there. Okay, good. We're happening. We got 3 minutes here. This leg is coming down and towards us. So we need to show that. I'm going to actually shrink it in a little bit so that it doesn't run further out than the shoulder if possible. So we'll just shove that there. Shove it over. This is actually the half tone of the leg going back. So this is a big arc. I'm gonna pull the flesh of the leg to the right to make up for that shift. So we've got this is shadow shapes now. Going up the quadricep, down to the front of it, up, up, down, up, down. It's like a workout. Leave that little triangle light out there. There's a little bump after the patella. There's like fatty pads, but there's the tibia tuberosity, which is a bony part on the very front of the bone that is, there's a slight cast shadow here. Okay, so get that in. Changes my calf shape. It's coming lower now. And the calves, on one side it's higher, one side it's lower. It's higher on the outsides and it's lower on the insides. So let's go like that. Maybe even lower. So it starts to travel down the front of the shin bone. We'll come back up. I'm going to keep the ankle that I had drawn in the same place. And I'll just adjust my foot shape around it, because it's already there. And all of this is dark. This isn't. Oh yes, this is too. Haha. Dark, 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 dark. Okay, so I'm gonna shift the foot over a little bit to compensate for that push and kind of this twist that I did here. So as the knee comes down, it's also a little shadow on this side. Oh boy. Okay, I'm just gonna pause time for a second because I'm almost there. So we have the power. We have the power of time. Time is a gift given to you all the time you want to use. Going up the side of the leg and coming out. So you see I left a little space there for the divot. Now this whole lower half is not as dark, but the fall of light is present. So let's just keep going. I'm watching the time, guys, don't worry. I'm not gonna go past 9. I've got other work I gotta do in the studio tonight. This is my break. And it's a welcome break. Guys gotta take some breaks. Just the shadow of the toe there. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Shall we increase the shadows? All right, let's get this last hand in here. So all I want to do is just make sure I'm not drawing the fingers. You see, I'm just drawing the shadow shapes here. When you draw the fingers, they look like weird mittens. You know? Because you're drawing too much around the hand, I guess. I see people do it all the time. I don't recommend it. You know, maybe once we get going again in here, we could have some models again. Maybe we can convince this guy to come up to Canada. Wouldn't that be a treat? Have some instructors from our brothers and sisters in the States. It's been my plan the whole time to bring world-class instructors to the atelier for Calgary, and also so I don't have to spend all the money traveling. Yes, it's also a selfish desire. But a lot of us, you know, jobs, family, kids, whatever reasons, we can't travel. So when I first opened this place, I thought it would be for full-time students, like the ateliers all over the world. And that didn't work, you know, with whatever the demographic is that lives here. Not the thing. So then I changed to, like, you know, the semester program, and people would take 1 or 2 classes a week. And then the drop-in thing got popular. You know, it's an art studio and it's a business, and I have to pay the bills here. They're not cheap. And so I've had to change everything I wanted to do. But I really wanted to have a visiting artist program. And we had Juan come in from the Toronto Realist School. And that was a great class, full, and learned a lot, had a great week. He gave an artist talk at the end. I think he lives in Regina now, so he's not even that far. And it worked out really well, and so I started planning for more of those. I was going to get Henry Yan, but Doug Swinton got him, because there's other places in town, of course. I just have the nicest space. Repotted the plants yesterday. All right. You know what? 8:41. We still got time. So that's good enough for the plan for the painting, which we will do in the next session. Whoa, I just want to check these messages. It looks like lots of people are typing. Okay. Let's 20 more minutes. I think this thumb is too big too. There we go. Which means I can bring his hand in a little bit. Yeah, I have never, in all my time drawing, ever drawn on the cover of this paper. And it was a full Bob Ross quote there. Happy accident for sure. I'm liking it. It's an interesting effect. I mean, I wouldn't use it in a full render. You can kind of see the cherries on. Yeah. I'm just gonna darken all my casts and core shadows, just because that's what I'll be transferring. The other thing that you can do is you can actually flip the drawing opposite way and scrape along the back, and it will press this material, but you'll have a reverse image, which is fine. I mean, maybe I'll even show that. Because if you're working from photo reference rather than the live model, you can flip the photo in your computer. So it doesn't matter if it makes the transfer easier. I do like the angle he's going. We read from left to right, so it draws the eye down this way. I cannot wait to judge this against the photo because I didn't take any measurements. I did do a comparison between these lengths and these lengths. Actually, I didn't do them to each other though. Ooh. One side slightly longer looking. I got the hiccups and no more Coca-Cola. All right, I'll just continue on with my plan. There was a kind of a plan. I like when it goes off the rails a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It's where the creativity lives, guys. I think creativity lives in the pressures, like when you have to innovate or create solutions, not when you always know what you're doing. There's no creativity in there. That's the professionalism part, which I also have great respect for. And once again, back to those bark drawings, those will give you the respect for the craft for sure. You'll be glad you did it. I sold most of mine. They're just nice drawings. You can give them to your mom as well. They're, you know, based off classical sculptures. Gotta move this little fold over. I feel like it got away on me there. I have to guess this area, but I'm just gonna keep it dark. There would probably be a you know what shadow right there. So let's just, in our painting, we'll just make it a little bit ghosty. Ghosty and dark. I think this leg's a little high up as well. Or the shadow on that leg is a little high up. That's what it is. Let's drop it down. Okay. So, for now, because time's ticking out, I will, I gotta put both pictures up, guys. And we will do compare and contrast. And I've got dirty hands, so who knows, maybe I'll wreck my drawing. Anyways, you'll see it straight on. You'll see it looks a lot better. There's our floaty guy for transfer. Well, let's start with him. Let me tilt up my people, and then we'll end off on the, because I know what I'm going to do with this one now. So we'll end off on the other one. So tilting, tilting. There's the image off my laptop. Oh, come on, bunny. All right, let's see what we can do here. I got some clips. When it's newsprint, it's light enough to clip to the TV. But when it's these other types, actually it's just a page. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to stand back. My image is a slight bit bigger. Oh, come on. So we can't like, I don't know, it's hard to get the exact size. I wasn't doing site size here. Let me just stand back, zoom in, and then we'll analyze a little bit. Because it helps me to see what I need to change as well, if anything. All right. You guys can type stuff in the comments too. So obviously my darks aren't as dark. I appear to have brought this shoulder too far over. So I'm just going to make a note for myself, like that. It's popped up, right? It's popped up too high, even just taking it down. I wanted to still be laying back, but when that's in the light too, it seems to come forward a little too much. My mouth shape can go a little bit to the left. My nose shape can go a little to the right. Yeah, man, this is a good way to work. There we go. It's too bad they're not exactly the same size, because I could just put it right over top. And my right arm still looks too long to me. I was probably right the whole time where I had it. Let's actually, let's see. It is a little, it's like 2% bigger. Yeah. Okay, I'll flip it really fast for you. I don't know. Anyways, it's not an issue. It's going to be a painting. So that is Aleste Panref. Sorry for butchering your name. Follow him on the Instagram. He does have other great pictures. I'll post this, and once again, if you got Instagram, I'll link to him. Thank him for his musings. And Brian Knox for tracking down his name. Oh yes, the other one. Okay, so this one, we need to push further. Let me just clip it up. I hope you guys don't mind like how just makeshift this whole thing is. It's just me in my studio, and I'm in your house right now, vocally, picture-wise. And there's like stuff everywhere. Let me just go to my computer and pull up this image. What? There it is. All right, are we there? Are we there? Okay. I wonder if I can make it exactly the same size just by growing. Oh, Lord. Okay. All right. Here's what we have here. This one's got a ways to go. But you can see my mouth shape is too big. Oy, oy, oy. Well, like that's a funny shape, but that this is ridiculous. This is a good way to work. The ear's a little too far over as well. But you can see with my darks what I'm going for. It seems like my shoulders still pushed out too far, just based off that shape. I'll have to make that a little bit bigger, right? So I'll just drop it down a little bit more. Oh my God. Maybe I'll do a whole drawing like this. You gotta back up off your work. And because the camera's right behind me, I can't get actually a straight view. Yeah. I think next week I'll continue on with this drawing. Or we might just go for straight painting of this one. Or I'll have to do an extra session. I don't know, guys. Thank you for... Oh, there's still time. There's still time. I was gonna do the whole ender here. Yeah, so I got more work to do in the mouth. The hands are freaking me out. There's a lot of stuff going on here and here, which we'll get to. I think overall the shapes and sizes are fairly good. This tilt in the armpit is too long and tilting down on mine. You know, you sit, look, train your eye. This is kind of like doing it in the mirror as well. Zoom out a little bit. So, it's not bad for tonight. I've been painting mountains and animals all day, so this is a nice change of pace. My plan tonight. Oh, where's the other clip? Okay, tomorrow's April Fool's. And in the past, I really enjoyed April Fool's and tricking people and playing pranks. But now, after all the years of seeing the hurt, and like pranks are really popular on Instagram and TikTok. But I think pranks are for jerks. They're usually mean, getting one up on someone. So for the last few years, I've been laying low. Now, April Fool's only goes until noon. So I'm going to have my phone off, most likely. I do not want to be pranked. And I don't want to prank you either. But I'm sure it's going to happen. I'm going to lay low. However, what I'm most excited about it being April Fool's is I'm starting a new body of work. And I have actually already been starting it. And it's paintings. And I've been time-lapsing the paintings as I make them because I have explanations about everything I'm doing. And tomorrow I'll be starting by sketching out the Fool card. And then I'll figure out what position to be in and photograph myself. So there's going to be a lot of stages and a lot of process and a lot of information and research, which is exciting to me. But the reason I bring it up, because you guys are already watching this YouTube channel. This is the Atelier's channel. This is what we do here on Wednesday night, normally with a model. The other YouTube channel that I have, Mr. Brian Bunny Batista, I think that's what it is. I've had it for like 10 years. And I really was doing like 1 a week episodes. And it has my trip to Japan. It has my studies in Paris. And I was doing it. It wasn't a travel show. I just happened to be doing it every week. And I didn't see the numbers grow. And I was really, just really broken down by how busy I was. And then I couldn't do it. And you know, you don't see these things grow. And I was putting in a lot of time, a lot of production effort. So I kind of gave up on it. And here or there, I spattered in things that didn't fit the Atelier channel very well. But I decided this year that it's already April. But I'm going to bring that channel back. And it'll be episodic. And it will be art stuff and stuff from my mind. Because I need the accountability. I don't need the extra work. So I'm going to try to make it as easy on myself as possible. But I think it's going to be entertaining. So if you only follow me on this channel, please go over to my personal channel and hit the subscribe button there. I don't know when that first episode is going to come out. I've been filming it for a month and a half. And I got to figure out the process because the project is different. And I think I'll probably be doing it for the next 2 years. So get in early. That being said, I feel dirty. Tonight, my plan is to have a hot bath, strong drink, and read Jordan Peterson. So that's exciting to me because I just feel so gritty and dirty all the time. And today was the first time that I actually saw the back of my haircut, and there's like this crazy line. I don't know if you can see it. Anyways, I cut parts of my eyebrow out like it was the 90s. I'm not going to fire myself. So it's a beer bug haircut, and this line is where I missed the hair. I love it. And then I also I have like a nose hair trip where I shave some lines in. So it's spring. If you haven't been cleaning, if you haven't been cutting your hair, shave, do all those things. And please join me for more craziness next week. Have a wonderful Fooling Nobody, especially not your parents' day, and a wonderful Easter long weekend. I'm going to do the fade out a little different. Like, subscribe, comment, share all those YouTube things. Subscribe to my other page. Follow me on Instagram and all that stuff. There's information in the description box. Ciao for now.